Wednesday afternoon for our show, or Wednesday evening for our show. We are I-12 GIA, Real Talk, the voice of experience. Our opinions are our own, and in no way do they reflect the views of our sponsors, which are Peace of Mind Training and the I-12 GIA Intelligence Group. You have myself and Rennie and the Nomad again. He's joined us for the evening, although he just disappeared. I don't know why. Hopefully he'll come back. So, continuing on.
Vanished. He just vanished.
He did. He just poof, and he was gone. He was just there a minute ago. So, where was I? Okay. Our opinions are our own. We're going to talk about shit, and we are raw and unfiltered and all that kind of stuff. So we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you want to check us out there, you can go stream, and we have a chat box set up if you want anything you want to say to us. And it is Wednesday, November 13th at 8 p.m. Tonight, our lineup is President Trump's cabinet pick. Well, should I say President-elect's cabinet pick? Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Nomad back. Let me get him turned back on there. There we go. Lost you for a minute there, brother. No, you're back.
Yeah, it was weird. Just the countdown went on, and then
you did a vanishing act.
Oh, that was kind of strange. You didn't hear any rotors overhead?
Not the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, the drones already got
the drones got my ass pinged a long time ago, but it's cool. It's cool. It's the next it's between now and the 20th of January is when we need to be careful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, we're going to discuss the cabinet picks of the president-elect. And some of the stuff that's going on with him. There's a lot happening, man. The guy's just kicking ass and taking names. You know, we've had this conversation before. To preface all this, we said before that as soon as the quiet professionals and the people that just want to be left the fuck alone wake up and get out and vote, this is what's going to happen. You know, and that's exactly what happened. We have President-elect Trump back. You know, and these fucking politicians and all the rest of them better get in the damn boat and row. Because if they don't, you know, they're going to find themselves primaried. They're going to have a hard time getting reelected because things are changing. There's going to be a paradigm shift in the way politics run in this country now, and it's something that was definitely needed. Yeah. What do you guys want to add to that? Anything you want to say to preface it?
I'll let my senior go first.
I guess that would be. You are senior. You're older than any of us, I think.
No man.
See, am I the old? Am I
the
fucking old?
He was speechless.
I'm going to have to buy a house in Jurassic Park. You hear me? Listen, I didn't even see that one coming. I didn't even feel it. Right?
I know. I didn't either. We were all just left speechless.
And I thought us being all having worn green that we would have been on the same page. But obviously, no, our bets are off, right? But here we go. Yeah. Love and respect. Yes, it's going to be interesting. I think I'm sure the resumes to the military-industrial complex will go through the roof in the next couple of days, and then also I think the what Trump called the deep state is in crisis. But I'm sure they've got a contingency for some of this stuff, and I think they're going to have the equivalent of a fifth column or a vanguard action. I'm sure they've got something in place to try and stymie or to try and frustrate, if not be an obstacle to some of the stuff he wants to do. This is a scary time for these guys. They've never seen daylight or never had a door or a light put on them, and they're front and center. See it by the picks. The personality he has in each of these positions is representative of how he wants things to do. He learned a lot from the first term. He learned a lot that if you play by gentlemen's rules, you get eaten alive. So there's no rules this time. He's working for the American people, and I think his mandate that came in both from the popular vote, which the Dems always like to throw at us, and also from the Electoral College, his mandate is across the spectrum of U.S. society. So he doesn't have anything to worry about from that perspective. He's got to worry about the Trojan horse already inside the camp. That's what he's got to worry about. And that's what I'm thinking he's going to try and tackle in the first couple of days, you know?
So I believe that Republicans are going to try to stymie his his agenda too. That's already been said. Why do you think Mitch the Squish McConnell rigged the Senate leadership election?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that being said, if I was to have Trump here, I'd say to him, listen, Mr. President, every time you want to pass something, you want to put an agenda forth, and these people step in front of you and block you, you know what? Go on TV, have a fireside chat, say, hey, I tried to pass the no income tax on overtime. The Senate Republicans wouldn't bring it up for a vote. Put them right out there.
Hmm.
Make sure they're
Absolutely.
asking your primary. Make sure that everybody knows their names, who they are, and what they stand for.
That would make perfect sense. So
Yep.
let's talk about his cabinet picks. First up is going to be Susan Wiles. She's going to be chief of staff. That's a
Yep.
really seriously important. That's a gatekeeper. That's how
Oh,
you
yeah.
get in to see the guy. So that's I don't know anything about her. I don't know anything at all about her. Do you guys have any information on her? I've never heard of her before.
She was co-chair of the 2024 campaign. She was also co-chair of the 2016 campaign, and she worked on Ronald Reagan's 1980 campaign. So she's
Correct. Yeah.
very
She-
well
she-
versed in politics.
She's also worked in Florida for DeSantis and for Rick Scott,
Yes.
so
You
she knows how to navigate things. You know,
anybody know who her father is?
Mm-mm.
I don't.
Ever hear of Pat Summerall?
Mhm.
He was a football player, and then
Hmm.
that's her father, Pat Summerall.
Wow, I had no idea. That's
I
interesting.
didn't either. Wow,
Yep.
that's so cool. But she's also the first woman chief of staff. So he's breaking the glass ceiling. If you want to have that wokeness BS put onto it.
Yeah.
So when we go through the picks later on, you're going to see how he's basically denied the ground to the Democrats. Anything they could say about not being fair or inclusive, his cabinet picks are fully inclusive, even
Yeah.
from former Democrats, which we'll discuss later on. But there's this is a very exciting time if people embrace the moment, the spirit that it's meant to be in, which is putting America first and also putting the best of the Americans that we have front and forward. You mentioned Mitch McConnell. He's a career politician. He's exactly like everybody else. So I'm going to your point, with the Republicans trying to sabotage him from within. Yes, the political establishment is nothing more than each family that has a political dynasty has an interest in not seeing this come true. But I tell you, Trump this time round is not the same Trump the first time round. And for many reasons, from apparently assassination attempts, but also for the fact is no, he is more passionate than ever, and he's going to be less nice to people who are less nice to America. And that includes from within as well.
Yeah. Now here's my thing too. Let's not lose sight of this. This is the rise of the millennials. You know how we're always talking the greatest generation. You know, our Generation X. You know, this is the rise of the millennials. Like Vivek Ramaswamy, 39 years old. Elise Stefanik, 40. J.D. Vance, 40. Matt Gaetz, 42. Tulsi Gabbard, 43. So Trump's getting ready to pass the torch to the next generation, and I think that's one of the reasons that why we probably elected him was to do that. You know,
It had a lot to do with it. Yeah.
and in doing this, he's probably this probably the end of the line for Chucky Chuck and Nancy the drunk. Who knows?
You know, as it should be. One of the first things that, on to your point, Nomad, one of the first things that those assholes did was bring up the fact that he was afraid of strong and powerful women, and he was intimidated by them and wouldn't have anything to do with them.
Absolutely
Holy
not.
crap! Not even close. His first pick right out of the gate, the most important position in the cabinet is a woman.
Yeah.
And you're right. He's just the right kind of diversity throughout his cabinet.
Yep.
If I may add to that, I think this is Trump's real time as opposed to the first time round. He's an absolute product of where society went politically.
Yes.
We've had to go. I said this to a guy today who's involved in political science from a government point of view, not this government, somewhere else. And he agreed. He said that the first time round, Trump was a wake up call. It's equivalent of having an espresso two or three of them hit your head at the same time
Yep.
because you're used to having the same wash, rinse, repeat nonsense we've had for the
Yep.
last whenever. This time around, everything that happened to Trump, politically trying to assassinate him, character assassination, physical assassination of the poor man, not just him but his family, he has shown that he is, you know, I won't say the word bulletproof because no one is, but what I'm saying is that politically they have emboldened a spirit and a part of the American electorate that people may not have ever recognized before. And what I mean by that is that you mentioned millennials, which is very interesting. Millennials are not stupid. They're just lazy in nature because everything's been done for them. Now, all of a sudden, it's taken the fact that their Starbucks is costing $2 more than it did this time last year. And they can't get enough charging stations for their fucking Teslas. So stuff that's important to them has become front and center to people in this election. So you're right. This is an opportune time. Our age group in the 50 plus is basically at the end of we're in the Golden Gate departure lounge is where we're at. And I think that the intelligence end of it in particular and the recognition that younger voters matter is a huge factor that will not be really seen until maybe years later. But the changes he's going to do now, some of these changes may not take 5 or 10 years to come into being. But I think that Trump's policies are primarily realist and they are American first. And we're getting to a stage on the global stage right now where if you don't look after your own doorstep right now, no one's coming. There is the self-rescue we always talk about. This is time for America's self-rescue right now.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. Okay, so we're in agreement, like minds think alike, that this lady is going to be a good positive thing. Yes.
Yeah.
And is back online. Anne Harford is back online.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
back.
nice.
Annie, hello, Annie.
Okay. Hi, Annie. Is she in the chat? I didn't open the chat up. Is she in
She's in the chat.
Okay,
She is, she's fantastic.
Let me open that up. Yep, there you are. Okay. Hi, Ann. How are you doing, hon? Okay, let's talk about Tom Homan.
Tom Homan?
Yeah.
What an interesting guy.
I'll tell you, man. Yeah, he's a Border Patrol agent he's an OG BP agent back from the good old days when we were running stings up on Interstate 10 coming out of Nogales and we're doing pursuits and shit and working with local PDs and doing all kinds of things. He's back from that generation. I could not think of a better person to deal with this particular problem with the way things are right now. I loved his comments. Some newscaster said, well, is there a way to not deport, not to break up families and just deport the parents? And he said, well, deport the children too. Just deport them all.
He says we're going to keep them together. Yeah.
Keep the families together. We'll just deport everybody.
Yeah.
Well, the whole anchor baby thing is the thing that was going on, 10 years ago. In a sense, people coming here pregnant or getting pregnant as soon as they arrived into the US and were therefore getting a residency through the family connection, literally in every sense of the word. But Homan, he made a great point. I saw many of his interviews. I've been researching the guy. He's a hero of mine. And he basically said, if you have a DUI, you separate families as well. With kids, if you have kids in the car, from a child protection point of view. But the other side of Homan is that he's a no-nonsense guy. He's not a politician either. Everybody that Trump has picked has bucked the establishment in some way. And it takes a set of cojones for someone to switch parties and then join. I was waiting for one or two more to come across the line, but they didn't do it. It may happen now, but they may wait and see what the experience will be. But going back to Homan's policies have never been a secret. His beliefs, even when he was CBP, were no secret. He's always touted the zero policy on essence because he said, we don't have a border if we don't have the backup to maintain this thing. So I think it's going to be interesting to see outside of the US, Mexico is already changing its posture. Canada is changing its posture. Trudeau on the northern borders, which people forget a lot about, has started to realize we're going to have to do a bit more. So like Trump schooled NATO when his first term saying, if you don't do your thing, we just won't turn up. You got to pay for your own goodies. Trump's going to do the same thing now with Mexico. And this interesting thing with watch what happens with NAFTA. Watch what happens with NAFTA. Economically, Trump's going to hit people in the pocket. He'll get your attention by starving you of resources and money. And watch what happens with the border. Just watch.
Yeah.
Watch Western Union. Watch Remitly. Watch all these other things. Watch what will happen. Watch what will happen.
I get the DNI standing over my shoulder.
Yeah, cartels aren't making a whole lot of money with all this stuff that's going on
Yeah.
either. So
I like that interview by Holman though, when the reporter asked him, how you
Yeah.
get to deport all these people out breaking up families? He goes, they're all going together.
yeah.
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 No
That's what it's
messing
going
with
to take, though. Yeah, that's what it's going to take. That's the only way you can get it done. Now, what do you guys think? Now, is the border czar an actual? It's not an actual cabinet position, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, so what do you think? Is it better that it's not a cabinet position, or what's the
Yeah,
downside
because
to
he
that?
doesn't need Senate confirmation, and Trump could turn him loose right away.
Yep, no politics
And he
whatsoever.
already said
involved in
he's
that.
looking for volunteers. So
Mhm.
Well, he's got one here. I think
Yeah, me too.
there's another side to this Holman nomination that people may not see the connection to yet, right? And it's with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. She's always been a supporter of CBP. And coming from South Dakota, you'd imagine, that's far removed from the border. It's not too far removed
No, it
from the
isn't.
border.
Mm-mm.
If you look at it in the other way around, but she's going to be his political firepower and his top cover when he goes to do it. You made a very interesting point and very important point about not needing actual
Senate
oversight
confirmation.
to be given his position. It also frees him up from the politics. It frees him from the politics.
Yep.
It's the equivalent of changing from a chief of police who's appointed by a city manager to a county sheriff who's a constitutional officer.
Yeah.
So he's got the best of both worlds in a way as well. And he can call upon any federal emergency resources he needs, which can be other federal agencies. And CBP are one of the most powerful law enforcement agencies in this country. Their overall brief is 100 miles inshore and offshore of U.S. coastline. So they can go 100 miles inside the U.S. border and have an exclusion zone. And they can go 100 miles off, not this 12-mile state international boundary. That's BS. And it was raised years ago by the ACLU about constitutional free zones, and it showed the amount of powers that CBP have. And CBP, Customs and Border Protection, when they had a simulation going on years back, and I'll cut to the chase with this, they said if we have a situation where we're encroached, 100 miles inside the U.S. border goes as far north as Austin, Texas, and covers all of Florida. So the coastline of the U.S. is not the boundary geographically from a point of view of our arc of influence or our area of operations from a CBP. It also goes skyward. But Kristi Noem is a huge supporter of him, and we'll see. I think the dynamic between the two of them will be Beauty and the Beast when it comes to Congress.
Yeah. I've always had a close place in my heart for guys that work Border Patrol. I worked with them off and on for years down in Southern Arizona, and a bunch of hardworking, just a great bunch of people.
Brave
and to
people.
see those poor guys, brave and tough, and it's like the old West kind of shit.
It is,
like the Texas Ranger stuff. But and to see those poor guys getting stuck in some fucking processing center, filling out paperwork and changing diapers and doing all the stupid shit that they've had to do for the last 4 years. Just
maybe it's better off
crushing.
they there, because I got a text last night. I'm not sure if I sent it to you guys or not, but I guess the cartels put a hit on Border Patrol agents now. They
yes.
can shoot,
Open season.
They can,
Open season,
they can shoot across the border now. Yeah.
But
that'll happen.
That goes two ways. That goes two ways.
Well, I would hope it does. I guess two Texas National Guardmen got shot at last week, but I'm not sure they had bullets to return fire.
All I'm going to say is this: that there's more than one type of coyote runs in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, in our learned opinion, Tom Homan is a good guy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. Perfect.
100%.
Who's next? Who's next? Marco Rubio, Secretary of State.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting choice. Mixed feelings for me.
Why? Why do you
Why?
say that?
Well, because he's a career politician, and I'm not sure exactly where his loyalties lie in a lot of ways.
Huh?
I'm not. Yeah, he's a career politician.
Oh my god. Okay, he's a career politician, but I think his loyal. Did you see that interview with him yesterday?
No, I did not.
No, I didn't either. What did we miss?
Enlighten us. Come on, buddy, hit us up.
I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose, right?
He's look at him. He's smoking right now. He's smoldering. Look at him.
I know, it's great. It's great. Get the juices flowing.
Just
Come on,
on,
Rennie,
just-
let us have it, brother.
yeah, buddy, go on.
Are you okay? You live? You
I'm
didn't need to
looking
be
for it.
okay. Good. We didn't need to
You,
reboot
you,
or
you
anything,
stunned in
are you all
silence.
right?
I'll take it up while he's gonna. I think you have a point that he was once a rival of Trump. So therefore, is the old saying, keep enemies close and your friends close, your enemies closer.
Yeah.
I think for future placement, Marco Rubio has other long-term political ambitions, but I think for the interim right now, he's a no-nonsense guy, and primarily he's been tough on China and on Iran. So that actually he's been probably a lone voice at times within the Republican Party, being tough on China and Iran. But he also knows that that's safe to do so because they're part of the axis of resistance and evil. But remember, he was also in consideration for Trump as a running mate, and they dropped him. And I think it's a wait and see approach for me. I think he's a good placeholder for Secretary of State. I'm going to say something now which might prove to be true. He might be replaced midterm.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
All right, I got it. Here we go.
Okay. All right. What are we doing?
Are you filming it? I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Okay, I rest my case for Marco.
The defense rests. Okay.
Yeah, I think you got a good point though about being replaced midterm because I'm not sure how he's going to be on the world stage as Secretary of State. But it's so hard to tell anymore because the last ones, Jesus Christ.
Well, Trump went through. He burned through half dozen Secretary of States. He started out with Rex Tillerson, Chicken, him.
That's why I'm saying he might be replaced midterm. He needs to get blooded on the world stage. It's like putting a guy into combat for the first deployment.
Yeah.
You've done the training, you've done the simulations, you've done your stuff. Now index is over, and I know you're going over the berm, and it's a bit different. It's all very well being a fucking marksman until someone shoots at you coming from that side, and all of a sudden, you're like this, and you're wondering what's going on. So
I think if he stays this steadfast, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think the choice of his assistant would be the making of him. The wrong person to assist him can ruin his effectiveness on the stage. Just saying. And if you got an opinion, let us know what your opinion is.
That's a good point. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have the chat rooms open, and we would love to talk to anybody that has an opinion about anything.
That was a subtle
we are raw and unfiltered.
reminder there, Fog. Subtle reminder.
And you can, sorry about that, man. You can say anything you want because we have no filters, which I'm sure because after tonight, I'm pretty sure we're going to be kicked off of YouTube and Facebook, and we'll see. But anyway, maybe not.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I love YouTube.
Rubio,
YouTube is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, they kind of got their shit together. Facebook,
Not so
but
much.
but for Rubio, I'm just, well, like you said, he needs to be blooded, and I think whoever's, because we all know what the Secretary of State's responsibilities are. There's got to be a little bit of diplomacy in there somewhere, because there has to be some kind of a balance. So I love the bit about Hamas, and that's very tough and very strong, but it's got to be tempered. I hate saying but, because there is no but in that subject. Those motherfuckers need to be pink mist.
Eradicated.
Yeah. So as the Secretary of State jobs, there has to be some diplomacy. But we've had this ones that we've had in the past just suck. Hillary Clinton, my God, that whatever I don't even remember what his name is. Who the hell is it now? What's his name? Who's current,
he's the
current Secretary of State?
Oh, he's an
Blinken, Anthony
embarrassment
Blinken,
towards
Anthony
you.
Blinken.
Oh,
Blinken.
Anthony
Anthony,
Blinken.
yeah, Anthony Blinken. Yeah,
Blinken.
okay.
Yeah. Blinken
So
nuisance.
that's one extreme. Yeah, it's got to be a middle ground for Secretary of State. It can't be one extreme or the other. So we'll see. You're right. Hopefully he'll get some help.
Yeah,
and then
don't
be
forget
okay.
that the State Department's really a spy agency too.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if he's anywhere near ready for that.
Yeah. I mean, how many
They do a lot of
cultural
things.
attaches have around the world?
Well, a lot of people don't realize it, but like, let's say Department of State, where I worked at, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Division of the State Department. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that even exists, but it is. So
There's
Well,
lots of State Department.
let's look at September 11th, 2012. They sent an ambassador to retrieve fucking weapons, missiles. Okay.
yeah, that was on Hillary Clinton's.
That's why Chris Stevens got killed. Okay.
Yep.
So the State Department is a spy agency. I was told that when I worked for them. They say don't ever be the first one to raise your hand. Well, during class, I raised my hand. When a guy asked, what do you think we do here? I said, we give out travel documents, passports, diplomacy. Look, you're a fucktard. He goes, we're a spy agency.
Exactly.
I never raised my hand again after that.
What is the situation? I mean, look at who oversaw all the contractors in the different theaters.
Yeah.
The U.S. State Department.
Yeah.
And is asking a question about some audio issues. I don't know if you can get to that, Fog.
I'm not sure if it's speakers or if she's asking about the Speaker of the House issue.
That's I'm wondering. Yeah, I hope it's the speakers of the House, because that's an interesting way.
Yeah,
I'm being
we're gonna talk
facetious.
about.
I'm being facetious, and I want you to answer and tell me how much of a dumbass I really am. I'm a natural ass. I'm a single organism.
So as far as I know, our speakers are working. I mean, I can hear everybody, and you guys can.
Or maybe she's sick of hearing. Maybe she's sick of listening to Rennie. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it's happening.
Oh, that's probably what it is. Yeah. All right, moving right along, gentlemen. His bald head shining on the light, so you can't really. It's really slick. Yeah. I think he waxed it
Rick
today.
Scott. She's just staying off the house.
Yeah,
Rick Scott is out, which is a good for everybody. I don't like Rick Scott. I don't like Rick Scott at all.
No, I don't either. We'll get to we'll get to the speaker thing as we get to this other part.
So she's talking about the Senate now. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to Planet Earth. Welcome back to Planet Earth. Well, Rennie. Greetings, Earthling.
That installed today was Mitch McConnell's right hand. Man.
All right, I guess we'll go ahead and do speakers now. I just completely lost control of everything. So go ahead, Rennie. Let's do speakers.
I'm playing with Rennie. I'm sorry, Rennie. I'm sorry. I'm playing. I love him, man.
So
I
Mike
can't.
Johnson was reelected Speaker of the House today. So he's still the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
What happened in the Senate today? That's where all the snake oil was used. Okay.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell had the secret vote. There were only like 2 or 3 people running, and he rigged it so his lieutenant, Thule or whatever his name is, won. And so now, if Trump, this is where I said earlier, I think before we started, if Trump wants to put forth an agenda and the career politicians don't want that agenda, the Senate Majority Leader is just going to shut it on down. And that's when Trump should go on national TV with a roaring fire in the background saying, hey, I tried to do this like I promised I would. And the career politicians in the Republican caucus shot it down. They won't bring it to the floor for a vote. Let's get
Correct.
them out there. Let's get them primary. You know,
Mhm.
Mhm.
as
Well,
far
that's
as
a rem-
Mike Johnson, as far as Mike Johnson goes, Speaker of the House, I think he's doing a fairly good job. I got no issues with Mike Johnson.
Yeah. Well, that's the remedy for all of this is primarying them. That's not a permanent position. How many have we gone through in the last several?
Right.
They're
right.
replaced on a regular basis.
Who's-
Hey,
who's
Ann,
next on
I
the
got a
list?
question for you.
Who's next on the list?
Yeah, Ann. Well, I got one question for Ann. Ann, do you say Rick Scott is out, and then no and sorry? What? No, what? And no, what are you sorry about? So, well, just go ahead and let us know in the chat room. Whatever's speakers. Yeah. I mean, and I remember now. Initially, we thought we were talking about like speakers, like making noise kind of speakers. Yeah. But now,
Yeah.
folks, again, our job here is to educate and entertain. So right now, this little segment is the entertainment segment. Okay. So this is where the comedy and the stuff happens, and then it's going to go away here in a minute. We'll get back to educating.
Comedy? There's no comedy here, but you got the
Comedy.
wrong channel.
Sure
Obviously,
there-
I've signed on to the wrong one. I've signed on to the wrong restream. I'm expecting
Oh, well, you did,
Teletubbies.
so- Well, it's comedy as opposed to song and dance, I think.
I don't want to see
All right,
many
she said
dance.
IA. I'm not sure. Okay. All right, we're going to move
Okay.
on from that.
Let's
and
move
maybe
on.
We'll bounce back in a minute. Okay. Pete Hegseth.
Oh dear
Sec
God.
Def.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Nomad. You invoked a deity, so let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, yeah, I'm deity. Yeah. Okay, here's the deal, right? This guy has 2 Bronze Stars from Afghanistan. Okay. This guy is a infantry cavalry. He's done his shit, right? He's in uniform. The top brass will basically just pay lip service to us. They'll ignore the enlisted for most of the time, unless you're a warrant officer or
Yep.
regimental sergeant major or some other stuff. Really take much notice of you. So equally with the Pentagon and the chiefs of staff, they're going to try and cut him off the knees early as they can, which they began with yesterday by saying he's not experienced enough. I'm telling you something now. How old was Alexander the Great? How old was whatever you pick in history? You don't need to have age. Does not equate to wisdom. If you have the same type of stuff going on, the same top brass has infused and allowed woke policies into our military, which have in a way made us less effective. And it's taken, this guy's not about that stuff at all. And he is all about the enlisted, the nuts and bolts of it. There's an old saying in the military, you know this guys yourselves, remember your friends on the way up, you might want him on the way down. He's on his way up.
Right.
He never forgot where he came from, even on Fox and Friends, that's it. But I think, while he's a surprise, he was never mentioned as being in the running for the job deliberately for that, to be the equivalent of a flashbang going in to a room, because every agency, like every political party, does what they call opposition research, and they already had a list of possibles. If Trump wins, this is who we'll probably pick. So they already had their homework done. When you put in someone and pull an ace out of your sleeve, they weren't prepared for it. So what the first thing they're going to do is attack, and that exposes them. And that's what he's actually done. I think it's a very good thing. I think he'll have a no-nonsense approach, and I think he'll always have the boots on the ground in everything he does. He's got support. He's like Mad Dog, the Marine who resigned.
Yeah.
He had the support of the enlisted no matter what he did. Everybody from MacArthur in the Pacific to Patton in Europe in World War II, all that stuff. Enlisted men love leaders and people who've had dirt on their nails and dust on their boots. They're the guys that we need, not politicians.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody saw him coming. But I mean, let's look at his 20 years, combat tours, decorated, retired as a major, got degrees from Princeton and Harvard.
Yeah.
He's a published author, an excellent communicator. If you watch any of the podcasts or any of the interviews and things that he's done, it's not just Fox and Friends. That's just entertainment. He's so much more than that. So yeah, I don't see. And now, to your point, Nomad, any other president other than President Trump, I don't think I'd be concerned with. But President Trump has put this guy in that position, and he will back him 110%. He'll go to the ground with this guy to protect him and keep him safe and keep him working, I think.
Yeah.
No matter what the Joint Chiefs and all the rest of
Do you know what's going to happen with I'm going to make a prediction.
Mm.
The
Okay.
total gang confront guy is going to name names and people for their and their betrayal of you
Yeah.
Afghan allies. He's going to put them saying, you were in charge at the time. I was
Yep.
previous to that. I know it's
Yep.
like you were drinking coffee in an office getting shot at by Tommy Taliban. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the Afghan withdrawal. He's got Trump is a chess player. Typically, he makes somebody suffer and be accountable, and he'll show that the military can go back to the way it needs to be, not this card carrying. I can't call you by the proper pronoun. Screw that crap.
Right.
It's time to get strong again
Right.
and make it a fortress.
Yep.
Hey, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we get Bagram back in 2 years.
It's looking like it is.
Oh boy, that's a might be time to take the contractor boots out of my bag and
Oh no, we're
think
too
about
bad.
going back to work.
Mm-mm.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that's going to go. We'll have to kind of see what happens.
And
with
I
that,
think Pete Hegseth's an excellent choice. I think between my girl Tulsi and
Oh yeah. Papa Hornacks.
DNA, I think she's gonna have Pete. I think she's gonna have Pete's back because she's a full bird in the Army Reserves. So I think she's gonna have Pete Hegseth's back the whole time. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think
you're right.
And like I said, Pete's very well educated. He knows, military strategy. I don't think anybody's going to pull the wool over his eyes. Lloyd Austin, the only reason he got the job, I can tell you right now, and if it offends people, I'm not apologizing. Okay?
Yeah.
The only reason Lloyd Austin is there because he's a token. He's a
Yeah.
black guy. He
Yeah.
can't even put a sentence together and sound intelligent, all right?
No, he checked off all the DEI boxes. All right, guys, let's take about a 5-minute break and we will come back. Sound okay?
Yeah.
Everybody up for that? All right, let me. Okay, folks, so we're back with I-12 Group Intelligence Analyst. You have Rennie, myself, Fogg, and the Nomad. Tonight we're talking about President Trump's cabinet picks. So we're about halfway through this conversation. We are live streaming to YouTube and Facebook, and apparently they haven't taken us down yet. So I guess we're still going. Hopefully that'll remain. And we also have a chat box open if you want to talk to us. You can do so. And I can't see your hat. What is that? What hat is that? Oh, yes, definitely.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Yep. I'm doing a
Check
Hattori
Canopy.
Sword company from yeah. All right.
I love your brother. I love your brother. You know that.
We are here to educate.
You know who my
entertain.
favorite colonel is of all time?
Your favorite Connor? Who Connor?
Colonel.
Oh, Colonel, as in Colonel, yeah. Who? Kentucky Fried Chicken
Saunders,
Sanders?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kill the
Kentucky
fucking
Sanders,
chicken.
Yeah. You know, they're suing not Popeyes.
Colonel Sanders.
Who's the other one? KFC is suing somebody. Not Popeyes, it's the other chicken company for something. I don't know
Chick-fil-A.
what.
Chick-fil-A.
No, they make chicken, just chicken. It's a
Golden Corral.
no. It's a fast food chicken place. It's
I have no idea. Checkers.
I don't either.
This is going to hell. Let's get
Yeah,
back
maybe-
to something.
let's get back to what we're talking about here. All right, so we all in our learned experience and all that shit. We're happy with Pete Hegseth. He's a good guy.
100%.
Excellent. All right, next up we have Kristi Noem for Homeland. Holy
yeah.
crap, that's another from left
Yeah.
field. I think it's a great idea.
She wears her jeans well.
Yes, she does, Rennie. Since you started with that, you can just continue on. What do you think?
So, yeah, I like her. Not only because she looks good in tight jeans and wears and rides a horse well. She also rides Corey Lewandowski, but outside of that,
What are her qualifications to be Homeland Security Secretary? That's the important thing here.
She has
I'll let you
been.
know when I come up with them.
Go ahead, Nomad.
This is good. This is where we get kicked off at this point, right?
I
now.
know, right? Yeah.
Hey,
Well
don't
done,
blame me.
Ray.
I'm only speaking the truth.
You know,
Yeah,
you know what
so
you've done.
every-
You know what you've done right now. You've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. You know that, right? Okay.
Exactly.
She's fantastic. She's proven again inclusivity. She's proven women matter. Powerful women matter.
Mhm.
She's been a staunch supporter of Trump on the border, on the immigration stuff. She's tackled everything from Democrats trying to kill her politically by saying she killed a dog. Remember?
Yeah.
Right. Come on, man, give us a freaking break.
They
So
posted a
you know,
picture of a bunch of dogs trying to catch a flight out of South Dakota the other day.
Oh,
I
geez.
mean, I'm sorry. These are the same people who came up with pronouns
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
the whole other thing. I'm sorry. I just, she's brilliant because she's a no nonsense governor, and she's also managed to both of the Dakotas have had their own experience of immigration and illegal gangs and stuff. They use it
Right.
as a route. There's a whole lot. So I think there's an Anne Hartford is correct. WTF whiskey Tango Foxtrot. But basically, it's down to the fact that she is going to the Democrats are obsessed with gender and obsessed with color and obsessed with stuff. Trump is obsessed with efficiency and
Mhm.
people who have an intellectual integrity as well as having the intellect to go with it. So
Mhm.
he's not even playing those games. So those rules don't apply to him. He's just ignoring them. So with her as a choice, she's going to go in like Holman and clean the damn place out.
Right.
And no one
Right.
can say, because the first thing she can say is are you saying this to me because I'm a woman or because I'm your boss? And she has managed to hold off in her own political journey. She's held off many challenges from that. So any successful Republican woman is immediately a threat to 80% of the wokeness and other similar genders, the natural genders, not the professed ones,
Right.
in the Democrats. So she represents the nemesis to what the Democrats have been putting out there. AOC hasn't said a word about it because AOC doesn't know who she is. She probably can't pronounce her name. So it's down to a very good pick, someone who's shown that she's able to. If you can manage an oil reserve, manage your crime within your state, make it one of the tax-friendly states in the country, and bring in new business, and she's constantly re-elected, she must be doing something right. So, and she was also a potential running mate. Remember?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, let me throw this out there. Do you think that Trump would take the Secret Service out of Homeland Security for Dan Bongino?
my own opinion is a separate conversation. I think he should take him out of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
I think they began life as part of the Treasury, and they still are to an effect. But times have changed now,
Mhm.
and the level of threat has changed now. I think you need to. I think you need to operate. I think they should only pick Secret Service agents from prior military service. That's my own opinion. I don't think, because you can't teach a kid who's got an college degree when you haven't got the basics, in intuition. A good old-fashioned sandbag who carries 80 pounds on his back and can hump over a wall is probably going to outlast a guy longer than a guy who got a paper cut while writing a thesis. But used to the
Is
right
that
one.
how do they do
Good
it
point.
over in England? How do they do it over in England?
What the Royal Protection Squad in the UK is sourced primarily from police and military, and anything from the sheds in Hereford, from 22 or SBS, right, stuff like that, SAS, SBS, SO19, the counterterrorism unit in London. Everyone has a military background, and so
Right.
you've already got a discipline. You can't teach civilians discipline if they've never been disciplined before. So if someone gets in their feelings about a fucking pronoun, right? The chances are they get upset when they read an order. I had somebody tell me today, we're going off topic. Someone tell me today as a recruit to a law enforcement agency that she doesn't want to really swear allegiance to the flag because it's not her flag. I went, what? I said, let me help you out. She says, well, I'm going to help you. You're
The
very
door,
kind.
yeah.
Let me help you out the freaking door. Get the hell out of my
Yeah.
fucking agency.
Yeah, exactly.
This
Wow,
was a
what the
brand
hell?
new recruit 2 days into her job. She'd be working probably until Monday, but after Monday, she'd be probably running
Yeah,
for
well-
AOC seat above in
Giving
the
her
North.
walking papers, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I ain't putting up with that crap. I don't care how much it affects me on Monday morning. The opinion stays the same, and I stand over what I do.
Yeah.
No, not happening. Go back to Noam. Perfect, 100% great pick. No problems with her.
Okay. Between Homeland, Customs and Border Protection, and SecDef, man, that's a powerful group of 3 highly competent people.
National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, yeah,
Another
we're going to get to
female.
her in a minute, but
Another female. Fantastic
Man.
choice.
Man,
Yeah.
Trump is doing what he does best, which is surround himself with competent people. He's not fucking up like he did last time and playing the little political chess or checkers game. He's bringing in some heavy hitters to get this shit done. That's
Yes,
what it's
he
going
is.
to take.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for us, actually. Let's see. Okay, now this is going to be kind of an interesting one because it's a new section, it's a new agency of government. And pretty much what the pundits on the other side are saying is that, well, Trump's going for less regulation and a smaller government. So how can he possibly bring in something called Doge? How 1984 Orwellian is that? So that's going to be Ramaswamy and Elon Musk setting up a department of accountability for the most part. What do you guys think about that one?
Well, I read up on, so they want to have their mission complete by July 4th of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 250th birthday. They want to have their job complete by then and get everything done, get the spending under
Before the
control.
midterms, yeah. Before the midterms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're paying $390 for bolts, you can get it Tractor Supply for 59 cents. There's a problem there.
Yeah.
And I think
sorry,
those
sorry.
are the guys that are going to rein in Zelensky, telling them no more open door checks. Tell us what you need. We'll see if we can give it to you.
I have another take on this, and it goes what you're saying, and it just takes it to a side. And just look at what Anne said. There's a big difference between life experience and book learning, and can be very smart, but not have common sense. Absolutely true. The combination of these 2 characters, Vivek and Elon Musk, they've both experience with dealing with government. Musk is a government contractor. SpaceX is contracted to the federal government. He knows it. He's showing NASA up by what he's done. He's having a double launch this freaking week coming up in Florida. He has shown that you don't need to have the bureaucracy of a project management team to make shit happen. And he's done it, right? And it's saying the right thing again. Personally, she thinks it's long overdue. This is long overdue because we've been paying for stuff we never did. Go back to your point of the 59 cents for a nut and bolt compared to, whatever, $390 for the same item. Value for money is what it's about. Government efficiency is Orwellian to a certain degree in its name. But what else would you call it? Government is not efficient because it's impervious to change. It doesn't pay for itself. We pay for it as taxpayers. Number 2, if you allow something, it will continue. This is what it's about. So the same system that was trying to kill Trump in every sense of that word is now reverse polarity. So with these 2 characters here, they make stuff happen quickly. They're both billionaires. They've both been supporters. Musk would not risk his share value if he didn't believe in the better outcome for this. There's a military side to the SpaceX stuff that people may or may not be aware of. Those in former military will certainly get it. NASA is military. Space Force came out of NASA and the Air Force. So there's another agency probably going to come out of this as well. But I think in the long term, extensive experience in dealing with government contracts, with logistics, with value for money, with project management, because military needs logistics to move. If you can project manage something. So The example I give you is the VA. When Trump came in first time round, everything went up. I'm not a VA recipient, but everybody I know that is, their life improved when Trump said, get this working, get it fixed now. Can you imagine what he's going to do with these guys? He's going to
no
save us
kidding.
billions of dollars. Our national debt should come down when we get this right. So the midterms is it. 100 days effective governance, but the midterms is where it's matter. And we've got to keep the House. So we've got 2 years or less to get this damn thing right, or we're screwed.
That's
Yep,
why
without a doubt.
that's why he's gonna keep the career Republicans, the career politicians in check.
Yep.
Make sure they don't throw his
Yeah.
his agenda off
Yeah.
the rails.
I agree.
And
Without a doubt.
I just want to say one thing about Musk. I was reading up on him today. Probably one of the smartest guys around. He has an IQ of like 161.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no topping
Yeah.
that baby.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, we were talking about the EPA earlier. Bernie,
yeah.
and I work, yeah. And we had a conversation about how they don't have the enforcement authority and so forth and so on. Well, they don't. But what they did today, I guess it's just a big fuck you on the way out the door, is that they added penalties onto gas companies for methane production. Okay. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, you know, the gas companies are just going to pass that along to everybody else, as they should. You know, that's kind of how that works. They're in business to make money.
No, they're unenforceable though.
Well,
They're unenforceable. They can say to the guy, so let me, I don't want to take up too much time. Let me give you a little history on my experience with the EPA.
okay.
When I was the emergency management coordinator in the city of Lawrence for the hazardous materials, Title V, SARA, Superfund Amendment Recovery Act. We had an EPA dude assigned to Lawrence, and he used to go around. He called me one day. He said, "Hey, listen, I got this company. I ain't going to mention their name, but they're a plating company. They were in the 5th floor of a mill building." He says, "I gotta cite him. I gotta give him a violation for $250,000." He goes, "I can't enforce any collection action on him." He goes, "But," he goes, "I can threaten him." He goes, "I'm gonna have him give you a call. Tell him what you need." So the guy called me, says, "Hey, you know, so-and-so from the EPA told me to get in touch with you. What do you guys need for the fire department?" So I gave him a list of things, you know, that were less than the $250,000 fine that the EPA was threatening him with.
Yeah.
And they would have never got out of him, but he didn't know that. And I certainly wasn't going to tell him. But he bought each fire truck a thermal imaging camera and the whole, you know, anything
Yeah,
he
yeah.
needed, you know. So the EPA, I guess they can do what they want, but they got no enforcement authority. You know, they can say, "Chet, I'm fining you $100,000 because your cow's been farting up a storm."
Yeah. Well, their
Hey,
power
yeah,
comes
hey, thank you. Just
right. Their power comes from
send
the
it certified mail, I'll sign for it.
their
And
power
that's
comes from
it. They can't
their-
get anything out of you.
I get it, but their power comes in the court of public opinion, and with especially worldwide, and with the way things are right now, hopefully that's going to change radically. They do have a lot more power than they think.
Okay,
Okay.
we've
Well-
had this. Go ahead, finish then. I want to say
Okay.
one thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand what you're saying, but I mean, they don't just. It's not just. They're actually. They can cause all kinds of trouble. There's a lot of farmers and ranchers and so forth, especially
They're a
throughout the
nuisance.
Southwest. They're a nuisance.
Yeah.
They're like a fucking mosquito, you know.
Yeah.
But still, a mosquito is annoying, but still, it hurts when it bites you. So go ahead, whatever you were going to say.
So you going down the climate change road with this?
That's what they're doing. I'm not.
Don't
No,
stop
no,
me on that
Okay.
crap.
So,
Don't
I'm
stop
gonna
me on
give
that.
my own
Yeah.
rhetorical speech that I've given often. Okay. In 2 weeks, we got a fucking national holiday coming up called Thanksgiving Day.
Mhm.
And in 1620, a bunch of fucking pilgrims landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and stood upon a rock that's still there and it's not covered by seawater. So I rest my case.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. 100%. Okay. Anyway, Lee Zeldin for EPA.
Great choice.
Good.
Here's the thing. He comes from New York. He's an outspoken defender of Trump, especially when all the nonsense started in 2020 and 2021 and the starting height of COVID. He's going to be good because he's basically a no-nonsense guy. A Republican to survive in a Democrat blue state and managed to survive and
Yeah.
thrive has my respect. I don't know much about the guy, but Trump wouldn't make a mistake. If something's going to cost Trump more, cover it. If Trump's going to cost him his legacy, he's not going to risk it. And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And Anne is right.
Right.
Anne said cows produce more methane than a cow.
Yeah.
Dead right.
It's
I
a
just
fucking
want to say
joke.
one thing about Annie's comment about cows producing methane. Well, I had cows. Yeah, you know what? They fought. I fought. Everybody fights. You know,
We know.
everybody produces methane.
You know, yeah.
But
And some farts smell worse than others. So, you know.
It's
statistically
contagious.
speaking, there's almost 70% less beef in the country now than there was 20 years
Yeah,
ago.
I know. That's scary. That's
So-
scary stuff.
That's something to think about before you start
Um,
talking about eliminating cows because they're fine.
Hang on one sec. Hang on.
Yeah, yeah.
I just thought about it. It's gone. Okay.
Yeah, he's been telling me about his about his.
He's right. He's
his
right. There's
prostate
less
exam
cows.
all
Less
day.
cows.
So, yeah.
Let's
Um,
move on.
Okay, let's move on. Speaking of which, we're going to run over our hour. You guys okay with that?
Of course
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, everybody happy? All right, we're going to continue on then, zipping through this. John Ratliff, CIA.
It's a great choice. Great
Mhm.
choice.
I like John Ratcliffe.
Okay.
He's
He was a director of DNA, director of national intelligence, Trump's last term.
Yeah, he should be able to make a clean sweep in that agency, getting their shit together, maybe. Okay,
He's
that
from
is good then.
He's from
again?
Texas. He's a no nonsense guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's needed in there. Okay, we have Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Policy.
What'd you say?
Did that?
That wasn't me. That was obviously methane has come from Rene, and that was for you. That was from Rene. Absolutely.
He's turning red, so yeah. Does that sound like
That's-
Daffy
that's-
Duck?
That's the fire cushion program.
Oh, is that what that is? It kind of sounds like
Yeah,
Daffy Duck.
yeah.
Donald, I'm not sure which.
Rene,
Donald.
when
I
Rene
saw a
was
look
in,
on your face though.
when Rene was in school with Moses, he was known as the musical buttocks. You could sit next to him. He's like a high school brass band warming up. But and he's part of our national defense against missiles. They're going to turn
See,
him
Moses,
face
Moses,
down, and he's going to face
Moses
up.
Moses was an Egyptian before he became a Jew.
All right, we're in the entertainment phase right now, folks, obviously. So I'll kick something out there. Let's have a little limerick. It's beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. So anyway, we're entertaining now, so we're fun.
Fog,
right?
Fog.
Yes.
That
yes.
guy. No one found that funny.
Well, I did. There's another part of that. Beans, a magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. So anyway, there's two
Okay,
parts.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one. This is worse. This will definitely get us kicked off of Facebook. Come and all right, you ready? Come and
Right.
smell. Come, here we go. Come and smell my anal vapor. I'll use your face as toilet paper.
Oh my god. Yeah, tip your waitresses, folks. We're here all
Rennie
week.
started this. I know Anne is laughing. Anne is now warm and fuzzy. She's probably done something in her sock. I'm sorry, Anne. We apologize.
You're not on
Probably.
Facebook. Chat, you are. Did you see the guy? Did you see the thing I posted today about the guy that went over to the speakerphone in the store?
No, I missed that.
Yeah.
That's me. I've done that hundreds
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
You pick up the phone, you dial the intercom, you fire into it, you hang it up, and you walk away. But
Why
it
am I
goes
not
throughout the
surprised?
whole store.
Why am I not surprised? All right. Okay, John Ratcliffe, CIA. That's kind of a given.
Yeah.
That's not
Good
even-
stuff.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Policy. Now, this is an interesting guy. Well, I'm curious because he was pretty significant in Trump's last administration.
Yep.
I know he's a long-time advisor.
Yep.
But he's kind of a question mark, sort of, I guess. What do you guys think?
I don't think he's a question mark. I like Stephen Miller. He's a solid Trump supporter. He's always
Okay.
had Trump's back. He's the one that I always reference that said, ain't no way that they're going to let Trump near the White House. He said they're going to kill him. They're either going to
Interesting thing about Miller. Miller was the guy who was behind the policy of Trump trying to ban travel from certain Islamic countries that
Yes.
had historical
Oh,
experience
okay.
of terrorism.
Yep.
And
Okay.
he was also the guy that helped create the template for the separation of families if someone does come in. And he was saying, let us redefine what a
Oh,
refugee
okay.
and asylum actually is. And so the Democrats were using another legal term that for that if you're looking for refugee or asylum status that you couldn't be prosecuted because you were in between status, right? But
Okay.
Miller was the guy that came up with a policy and said and sold it to Trump that if you, I mean, I've behind my head here I have a sign saying import jobs, not terrorists, and that's
Right.
from the time of Miller when Miller was telling Trump, listen, there's no point bringing people from a country that has historical experience, like in the UK with Ireland and the UK. When the IRA were blowing the crap out of things, every Irish person had to go through a thing called the PTA, Prevention of Terrorism Act from 1972. That's 3 years after the Troubles began, and what they call the conflict in Northern Ireland, in Ireland. And so people in Ireland expected to be put under scrutiny because of IRA stuff going on. So when 9/11 happened, Muslims got in their feelings saying, well, you're attacking all Muslims, you're putting us all under the same umbrella. Well, here's the damn thing. If you are dancing in the streets of Gaza, dancing in the streets of Palestine, dancing in the streets of Egypt and other places and Yemen, celebrating the fact that 3,000 people just got wiped out by two pipe bombs with wings, you don't deserve to be even considered to come here. So I agree with Miller from that time, and I've forgotten that he was the guy behind that policy. And that was the start of the other political wokeness, this inclusive crap. If you can't look after your own household, and if you won't admit that 11 of those hijackers were Saudi nationals, and you don't have a problem with that, well, I have a problem with you.
Most
And that's what
definitely.
Miller said. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Stephen Miller then. Now we're going to move on
pick.
to
Good choice.
Good guy. Perfect.
choice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to Rennie's favorite, Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh dear God. Keep
I
this
know.
clean up. Keep this clean,
Yeah.
and don't be putting those pictures up. All right.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So remember, anything we say that's negative is going to result in the wrath of Rennie.
I ain't negative about her.
No, I'm just saying anything we say. And that was just for fog. And I know how you feel. But there's nothing negative to say. I like her. I think she's fine. I'm a little concerned about the policy switch, but maybe she saw the light. Or the party switch.
So
Maybe she saw the light.
there's me with the new DNI, and there's the DNI on the bottom in a bathing suit.
Yep.
So her and I are intimate.
Yep.
And they call this a smartphone. Okay, all right.
Excellent choice.
Of swimwear or appointee.
Yes.
Both.
I'm setting them up for failure right here, right now. She has. Sorry, Red, I love you, man. She has 2 tours, two combat tours, basically National Guard vet. She went against the Democrats when she was a Democrat. She recently, only the start of the year, she came out of the Democrats and took her time to cross the line to the red side and come over to the Republican side. I think she'll be a very good person to argue the point and play devil's advocate, because she knows. Listen, there's an old French saying. It says, "You send a thief to catch a thief." She knows what Democrats think, so she knows how to counter the nonsense that we expect to come in the next coming months.
Absolutely.
And she's a very, very good, and she is a no-nonsense person. National intelligence needs intelligence, and she's definitely got that.
I think she's a full bird too.
Yeah, she's a full chicken wings. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the final one, which is going to be the one that has to explain all this nonsense to those rabid vipers that are the press corps, and that's going to be Alina Habba. Apparently, they're looking at her for press secretary.
I don't know much about her. I was more sort of in keeping with the with Huckabee going to Israel as the ambassador, as Matt Gaetz as the AG, which is a fantastic choice because he's been under investigation too. So he's totally sympathetic to the Trump thing. But going back to your point, this other lady, I don't know much about her. They don't need somebody who's nice. They need somebody who's effective communicator. The Republicans have always suffered with poor communication within itself. They've never given itself a chance. Right. They can never articulate to the public what it actually stands for. Republicans and Democrats, as we once knew, are gone. They've got to be gone. They need to be gone. So whoever's the public face of the White House policy has to be capable of dealing with the awkward questions. And I hope she can. I don't know anything about her, but I wish her the best.
Yeah, this is another strong, confident woman that Trump has surrounded himself with.
Good.
And depends on her greatly. She's his attorney. She's the one that's guided him through all this nonsense with the assorted court cases in New York and everywhere else.
Okay.
And
well, she's cool.
Like,
she's cool.
She's like, cool. Take no prisoners. Put up with no bullshit. I think she's going to do really well in that position. Let's talk about, because you brought up two more that I was going to get to and didn't write down, so I forgot about them because I'm old and stupid. But anyway,
you got a couple there.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah,
interesting character. He's still. They tried everything from sex trafficking on him to everything on him here in Florida. He's a no-nonsense guy. He's been leading the revolt against the Rhino Republicans for the last number of years. He's the guy.
Him and Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Yes. So also with this whole January 6th thing, he was front and center. He's a total constitutional guy, this guy here. His father is also in politics. So there's a lineage there within the Florida context. He's always been very vocal. He's prepared to say what he thinks and stand over that. So I admire him for that. The downside is that he has a temper. And if you can tap into that, you can defeat him by using himself against himself. But I think he'd be very good. I think anybody in DOJ right now was wondering, oh dear God. And I'm sure Bill Barr, who didn't do us any favors, is thinking, oh dear, we've now got a pit bull, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's a very good choice. What about National Security Advisor Mike Waltz? He's a Green Beret elected to Congress.
Yeah,
his point on Ukraine is a bit different. You got Bill McGinley, the White House counsel, interesting guy. Reading about him, he's the guy that helped write the America First agenda, and he's a guy that is primarily against the DOJ weaponization of law enforcement. So between him and Gaetz together, you're going to have a thing. The other thing is going to be the Supreme Court justices. The Democrats are going to try and do something as a legacy to try and piss in the pot and spoil everything for everybody between now and the 19th of January, because on the 20th of January...
Well, they're trying to force Sotomayor out so they can... Now, the talk of the town was they were going to force Sotomayor out and install Kamala.
Yeah, Sotomayor's not going anywhere.
No.
She's already said no fucking way.
Unless they get something on her. I don't think she's going anywhere.
Yeah.
No. Well, she was... When she went in, she was not very well received when she went in. And that was a total play to the whole Latino Hispanic thing when she was voted in. And she doesn't play favorites.
No.
Her and was it Ruth Bader? What's her name?
Ruth
She's dead.
Yeah.
Her and the two of them went at each other over a couple of things, and RBG had told her, "Well, you need to know your place. You're a junior member." She said, "I'm a Supreme Court justice. I'm not a junior anybody." I admire her for that. Other than the fact that she needs to smile more and change her hairdo, she's fine. But she's no friend of Republicans. But they have a job trying to get her out. But I would think that overall the choices he's made has been very, very good, and it shows. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
She's no friend of Republicans, but I don't have any problems with any of her decisions that she's made.
No, definitely not. Along those same lines, though, something else I watched that caught my interest today was that there's a theory that Biden is going to try to do a whole bunch of up and downstream appointments of federal judges throughout the entire spectrum. Through a lame duck Congress and just install all these Soros-backed judges and so forth. you know, after watching him and Trump today at the White House with their little get together, I don't think that's going to happen. I think
Yeah,
he's-
they talked about it today. The
well,
the gay Haitian said that they were going to try to at least squeeze 20 more judges in.
well, yeah,
Well, here's
but I think Biden has something to say about that. Though. Let me finish that, and we'll go on with it real quick. After watching them today, I don't think Biden is going to do anything the Democrats tell him to do at this point, or the power Democrats say. He's worried about protecting his legacy at this point, you know. And I think he's looking at Trump as more of a friend and ally right now. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Joe Biden voted for Donald Trump just to piss off the Democrats because they fucked him. With no Vaseline.
I think Joe Biden voted for Ben and Jerry, his favorite ice cream, who happen to be
Well,
Democrats.
that too,
well.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm reading Anne's comment. She thinks we're off the wall, we're crazy but smart and informal things with humor. You obviously don't know us. You obviously make some really bad choices in your life. I'm sorry. We love you. I think you're right. I think listen, there's about 5.5 to 6 weeks of effective government left between now and the Trump transition team going over. I have a contact who works on the Rubio detail. We were talking about this in another few months back on the first attempt on Trump, and I was talking to him, and I asked him, "Said what's your opinion on the Secret Service, on other stuff?" And everyone's expecting a change. The present academy right now, in that camp that they do the Secret Service training in, will be the graduates who will be on Trump's new detail. So there'll be new guys.
Oh, good.
On Trump's detail.
Yeah.
So the Trump guys have a bridge between the existing and the brand new. So they're trying to do a buddy system. So they're trying to change the budget to allow for almost paying for two when there should be one. And we'll see how that works out. But going back to what we're talking about, as regards Biden trying to stuff the SCOTUS, it's not really they can do it at a district and a circuit level. They can't really do it at a federal level.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
I think he can. I think he can strategically place people to frustrate the system more than actually appoint people.
Yeah, he can, but I just don't think he will.
All right, Chet.
I don't think he's going to do it. Yeah.
You want to put a little wager on it?
What's the wager?
I should ask you. You want to put a little wager on it?
I do. I lay down the terms.
Okay. All right. What do you want? What do you got?
So, if I'm right, if he appoints any judges between today and January 20th, you have to accept the white underwear that I've worn eating Taco Bell, which you have asked me for, but said you won't accept them.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't accept them. They showed up this morning in the mailbox, and I looked out there, and it's surrounded by fire trucks and police cars. There's a helicopter overhead.
I'll send these
UPS
UPS or FedEx then.
Well,
I didn't
mark them as hazmat.
I got something.
Go ahead, Nomad.
I want to hear what Nomad says.
So do I. Shut up. Go ahead.
It's not for public consumption, but I'm going to say this to you, right? If anything has touched your nether regions and they're in the U.S. Postal Service, or infrastructure for detecting hazards is failing, right? Taco Bell comes out the same way it goes in. You understand, right? This is gone to hell right now in a hang basket. But more importantly, right? Here's the thing, right? I'll put the new secretary for the EPA on your ass, literally, because you are a hazard, right? If anybody is listening out there, never, ever, ever be within 10 feet. Okay? No.
Oh my God.
Let's stop at that. Listen, all jokes aside, Democrats are worried. Democrats are on the back foot. Democrats don't know. They're still reeling from this thing. Everything that they try to do has been shown to be just utterly out of touch with people. And the elite, and there's a lot of elites in the Democrats, they're absolutely staggered by it. It's like asking Bill Gates, what's the price of a gallon of milk? He won't have a clue. These guys are the same way. They have no idea what real Americans have to put up with every day. So it's time to teach them a lesson. Time to teach them a lesson, right?
Yeah.
And let's do it the right way. And I hope the Republicans don't waste this opportunity. That's my biggest fear with this thing. I was completely wrong when I said I didn't think Trump would get it. I hoped and prayed I would be wrong, and thank God I was wrong. But I'm telling you now, I hope we don't waste this opportunity, because we'll never get this again.
You're right. It never
Not
will.
since Reagan's time will we get this again.
Yep, you are correct. So
I usually
let's
am.
do. Yeah, let's do. All right, let's finish off with a topic that's really close to all of our hearts, and that is Israel. Okay. I think Trump made his stand on those folks blatantly obvious today, without question, by appointing Mike Huckabee as the ambassador to Israel. Thoughts and comments?
Good. Excellent choice. Huckabee spends a lot of time there.
Huckabee is a personal friend of some of the inner circle, the hierarchy in Tel Aviv. And again, we talked before, when Huckabee went to when Trump changed the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. That was the start of it. Huckabee is perfect for building a bridge back after everything that Biden burned. We all have connections to Israel, and I'm telling you right now, people were feeling abandoned. Huckabee is he's the basic Pepto-Bismol for the indigestion that Biden caused politically, and it'll be interesting to see Huckabee's connections with fundraising for the American Israelis and Jewish community is huge, and he's very well liked. He's not seen as a political figure. He's seen to be I know of him at a different level, and I've seen him on and off camera when he was in Fox. I know his daughter, Sarah Huckabee. She is very like him, but she's different in other ways. He also owns Centennial Bank, and he is also an actual. He's a very staunch supporter. He's a no-nonsense guy too, but he's got a gentle presence about him. When we talk in the military about a command presence, this guy has it. He can go quiet and you will listen to him. I think he's a brilliant choice for what's to come in Israel.
Now, did you say he owned a bank?
He owns Centennial Bank.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know he has up in North Florida. He's got a place near Destin, which is surrounded by movie stars and pop stars and rock stars, and he's the most unassuming guy. He'll sit down in a Carrabba's and have a bowl of pasta sitting next to you, and he's totally unassuming. You could pass him in the street and think he's just a guy in a plaid shirt sitting out, hanging out on a t-shirt. He's comfortable with everybody, and he always made time for anybody I ever saw him in company with. But he's a good man. He's a good man.
Yeah, his daughter Sarah served Trump really well the first time.
Yes.
She took a lot of shit. She was threatened, chased out of restaurants with her family. And so, I'm glad for Mike. I really am.
That'll work out pretty well.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Well, we are at 8:30 or 9:30, whatever time it is right now. I think we've done a lot of stuff tonight. We've managed to entertain and educate, as always. So you guys want to go ahead and close us out for the evening?
Sure.
Renee, on yours, buddy.
All
Go
right,
ahead, Rennie, you start.
Peace, love, and happiness. Glad I got to spend this time with my brothers tonight. Had a few laughs. And we educated people. Let's do what we do best again next week.
Okay, Nomad, go ahead, brother.
I think America made the right choice. Thank God. I think America has a chance to reset and take a breath. And right now it's a question of cover and concealment. we're sort of we've taken fire for 8 years. We have a chance now to take a chance and reload politically and get our values back on track. An American value is very important to the rest of the world, not just to America. So I think with Trump, we have a chance to regain some of what America was, is, and should be. And I'm glad I was wrong. I'm humbled, and I'm so glad I was wrong. Thank you all for tuning in, and stay safe. And thank you, Ann, as always.
Most definitely. All right, it's been a good show. I-12GIA with myself and Rennie and the Nomad down there. Again, we tried to educate and entertain as we usually do, which we did a pretty good job of tonight, I think. As usual, prepare to self-rescue. Not only us individually, but as a nation, because ain't nobody coming to help America at this point.
No.
Between now and January 20th is going to be an interesting time. So pay attention to our head on the swivel. So thank our sponsors, Peace of Mind Training and I-12 Group Intelligence Analysts. And that'll be it for this evening. So join us again next Wednesday for another show. We have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure out something in between now and then. So if you like what we do, please join us on Restream, here on Restream and Facebook and YouTube. So we'll see you folks next time. Good night, everybody.
Peace
Good
out.
night.